As you are starting to sew, one of the first things you need to do is to get your thread you're going to use for your project, and then also get your bobbin and sewing machine, get it all threaded properly. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this onto the spool pin, and you should have a stopper that looks like this that came with your machine. From here, I'm going to take it through the lever that's on the back of the machine. And then I'm going to bring this down. You're going to be making what looks like an N. You're going to come down and then back up again. So I'm going to come back up. And this is the take-up lever. Do you see how when I spin the hand wheel, it goes up and down? You want to make sure that you loop it through that take-up lever right there. Then you'll come down. You'll put it through this first thread guide. And then you'll stick it through the second thread guide. And then your next goal is to get your thread through the eye of the needle down here. There are several ways to do that. You can go ahead and just manually stick it through the needle, or lots of machines come with a self-threader that make it easy to thread the machine. And it would pull it through. This one is a little bent, so I'm going to just manually put it through the needle. And a couple of tips to doing this: if it is not going through properly and you're having issues, you can cut the thread at an angle, or you can moisten it a little bit. In my case, it looks like I'm going to have to trim it at an angle to make it a little pointier. After doing that, I should get it through the eye of the needle. Okay, once I've done that, I'm going to grab a pretty lengthy little bit of thread to keep on the side to ensure that it doesn't just come undone whenever I start my project. So this one lays on the top. Now it is time to put our bobbin in. Lots of sewing machines look different. This machine I'm using is Bernina, and it has a special bobbin case that you will put your bobbin in. So you'll put this in with it unwinding to the right, so just like that. And I will slide it right in here. Then I get it through that first little notch, wrap it around, pull it through the notch, and then it's all the way through. Now I'm not putting it through this little hole. Each machine is different, so I would encourage you to look up your machine and how it tells you to thread the bobbin. A lot of times it'll have a picture right here visualizing how it should be threaded. Okay, so you're not quite done yet. Your next step is to get this bottom thread up through here to the top of the machine. Okay, so you hold this one tightly with your right hand or your left hand. Take your right hand, roll the hand wheel towards you, and simply pull the thread through. And once you've done that, I have both pieces of thread all the way through the feed dot right here. Okay, so I'm going to close that. These two are ready to go. I'm going to leave them out to the side. Now, as long as I have these pulled to the side, I don't need to rethread the machine. So whenever you're trimming, after you've sewed something, trim way out here so that you don't have to keep rethreading and threading your machine. Make sure your settings, we're doing a straight stitch, so find the settings on your machine that are a straight stitch, and that's how you thread your machine each time before you get started.